Hello, 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 and welcome to Lunch Break with Shel. My name is Shel Anderson, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Today, we are going to be having a play with the Whale Done stamp set. This is a carryover from the last catalog, but I think this set is going to go perfect with the technique that I'm going to teach you today. And this is called the Bubble Technique. Now, I'm going to try something on this video that I haven't tried before, just so you know the outcome. I'm going to suggest that you either use watercolor paper or shimmery white paper for this technique. But the reason I'm doing this is for those of you that do not have either of those, I'm going to try it on just basic white regular cardstock. We'll see what happens. All right, so I have a little container here. And in this in this container is water, Blue Dawn dish soap, any dish soap will do, and 10 drops of Pacific Point re-inker. The more re-inker that you put in, the darker the background will be. Okay? Now this is a really tough technique. It takes a lot of skill. What you do is you blow bubbles with the straw into the water and you touch your cardstock to it to pick up the bubbles. All right, I'm going to show you how it's done. Cool, eh? And you just continue doing this as much or as little as you want. All right. I'm going to stop there. I'm happy with that. And now I need to, this is a messy technique if you over bubble your your bubble mixture. So make sure that you have protected your work surface and you have a cleanup cloth. All right. So here it is. It is wet, and as you can see, it is curling slightly. Off camera, I am going to start my heat gun, and I'm going to dry this with the heat gun, and we'll see how this fares.
And I'm just running the heat gun over the cardstock, drying the bubbles as quickly as I can. And I apologize that you have to wait for this. Actually, I could probably bring it on camera so that you could see what I was doing. I'm just so used to using my heat gun behind me in my workspace. And as you can see, it is bubbling, but I don't think it's bubbling terribly. It's faring much better than I thought it would.
All right. That is step one, my friends. Now we're going to move on to step two. I have chosen to use the Stamparatus for this technique because I wanted to set up a scene. I just have to, oops, I got my magnet stuck there. Yeah, this was right down to the bottom. And I am going to bring in some magnets, lots of them, to hold down my cardstock. Now I've chosen several different, I've got the octopus, this one here, I've got the whale, I've got the tall leaf and the short leaf, the coral, and the little school of fish. Now, since I have the whale in this one, I am going to put a different greeting. I don't know whether I want well done or you're kind of a big deal. I think I'm going to use the big deal. I think that might fit nicely in here. And I'm just going to lay that like so, and then pick it up. All right, now my friends, you will see that I have brought in a whole bunch of little ink spots. And why I do this is because I find it's easier to get in when you have multiple images on the platform. I find it's easier to get in with an ink spot than with the full-size pad. All right, that was fresh freesia that I used on my octopus. I have absolutely no idea what color octopus are in real life, so just bear with me. I'm not going for the correct colors. I'm just doing my own thing. And then we have a little school of fish over here. Isn't that bubble background fantastic? And I think I am going to leave that there for a minute. I'm going to come back. I think I'm going to use those little fish more than once. Now, I want Memento Black for my greeting. I'm going to take those fish off and just sit them to the side. And when you can get these little ink spots from Stampin' Up, I just buy them and fill them with my re-inker. And I love it for this, but I also love it for when I go to my trailer. I just pick up the case with these ink spots in it, and I've got every color with me. So that makes it convenient. Now I've got Mossy Meadow. I'm doing both of the plants, underwater plants, in the Mossy Meadow. Re-ink those a second time. And then I'm going to come in with the Calypso Coral for this coral. And I'm only stamping the coral once because I like the detail in the stamp. Heavens, what have I done? There we go. I'm going to peel those off. And our final guy is our whale. And I think I'm going to use... Oh, I can always go darker, but I can never go lighter. I'm going to try Orchid Oasis. See what that looks like. Ah, well, that would be bad. I put the stamp on the I put the stamp on the platform backwards. Oh boy, that's funny. All right, we're gonna do it right this time. Now we'll pick them up and ink the proper side of the stamp. But in putting that ink on there, I know that's going to be way too dark for what I want. So I'm going to do him in Pacific Point. See, I've got some ink down here from using that big pad. That's exactly why I like those little spots. Check that out. Isn't that fabulous? Great color. All right, I'm going to take that off. Then I'm going to bring back in, I'm going to clean it, and I'm going to bring back in these little fish. I think we need some more little fish. And those were in crushed curry. Crushed curry, way over here. Might do this 2 more times. And I'm going to clean it and put some more right up here. Did it again. Put it on upside down. Not too smart. There we go. All right. Now we'll take that one off and put it to the side. And the only other one I have is this little bubble stamp. So I am going to grab some Pool Party, I think, and put some bubbles. And as you see, I've got more marks on my plate. Oh yeah, I like that. It's just a little something something. There we go. I'm happy with that. All right, let's clean this off. And we're going to put these stamps away right now before I lose them. And that guy, our fish, our whale, coral, and the large plant and the small one. There we go. All safe and sound in their case. All right, we can pull this off here. And see what happens here. The greeting is a little bit crooked, but that's okay. I am not bent out of shape over that. And I chose a Pacific Point card base for our card today. And this is going to go right on the front of our card. Aren't those bubbles fantastic? It looks like you're under the sea. And you can lighten or darken those bubbles as much as you want. It's all controlled by the amount of drops. In here I put, well, you see how little this container of water is. Okay, it's not very big. I put 10 drops of re-inker in that. All right, so I am going to use my tape runner for this. And I'm going to use lots of it because there is a little bit of warpage with this regular basic white, but I don't think there's any more warpage than there is with the watercolor paper. I tried this before my video with watercolor paper, just so I could show you guys. And I'm out of seal. All right, we'll put a little bit of this right here. All right, so try to match my borders as best I can. And we'll press that down into place. That's not bad at all for warpage. I don't have a problem with that at all. Now we're going to need a piece for the inside so that we have a nice place to write our greeting. Same thing on the inside. Try to match your borders as best you can. Well, that's crooked. There we go. That's even worse. Let's start again. There we go. So now we have a nice place to write our greeting. And if you want, you could stamp something on the inside. I'm not going to for the purpose of today. Now I'm going to bring in this other panel, and you can see this is watercolor paper. And this is warped, just like this was, okay? Yes, this technique gets wet, but it's not too terribly wet. And you can see the difference in the bubble pattern. This one has much more blue and less white. So every one is going to be different. And when that gets mounted on a card base, that's what that's going to look like. And this one I used My Love for You is Bigger Than the Ocean, and I put a turtle instead of the whale. All right, so there we have, you know, while I'm here, I've got another base. I'm just going to do it, and then they're done. Right? Why wait? And I'm just going to give this a little zhuzhing. Attitude adjustment, get it into place, and I'm being very generous with my adhesive. And we will pop this on the front. And I've got some glue leakage, of course. Now I'm going to flip this over and give it a back rub until that adhesive sets up a little bit. And while that's adhering, I'm going to get this piece ready for the inside of our two cards. All right. That's it for today, my friends. That is the bubble background technique. All you need is water, dish soap, re-inker, and a straw. And you can use it as bubbles for undersea look, but you can make some really cool DSP in, say, a pink, right? Or you could do one color. Ooh, there's an idea. Do one color at the top and a different color in the middle and a different color at the bottom, and do like a variegated bubble for a ocean scene or a palm tree scene or whatever. Like, you know, experiment, go nuts, see what you can come up with. All right, that's it for me today. I'm out. Have a good day. See you back here Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Central Standard Time for Lunch Break with Shel. Bye-bye.